Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today and thank you for your support. Today I'll be talking about Body and Soul, the 1957 album from Billie Holiday. It's not the first time I've touched on this title before. Early on in the channel, I reviewed it, the Analogue Productions 45 from George Marino, and I compared it to an earlier mobile Fidelity pressing. My system has completely changed since that time. Almost every component except the turntable is different. So it was very interesting to revisit these two pressings and compare them to the new one, which is in the Acoustic Sounds Verve Jazz series. And it's mastered by Ryan K. Smith, pressed at QRP, and housed in the beautiful Stoughton gatefold jacket, which I'll show you in a moment. Before I get started on all this, if you are new and haven't already, please consider subscribing. I notice a lot of you watching regularly have not subscribed yet. And it is the best way to support the channel, and it makes a big difference. So if you could all hit like, subscribe, and notification, that would make a great difference to me, and I really appreciate that. Also, this and other releases in the Acoustic Sounds Verve Jazz series are available in the Pressing Matters storefront. If you haven't checked it out yet, after the video, go take a look. Just click on the link that's in the description box. It takes you to an Amazon affiliate storefront that I've curated, and it has all the major audiophile record series in it. I was actually able to add some titles that I didn't think I'd be able to. There are now Analogue Production series releases available in the storefront too. So you'll find Blue Note Classic, Blue Note Tone Poet, you'll find the Contemporary series, you'll find the Pablo series. Virtually everything is there. So that's a great way to support the channel. Every purchase makes a difference and really could unlock more time for me to do more and better content. So thank you so much for checking it out. Let's get on to this. So 1957, Billie Holiday recorded this. It was done in mono by the Verve engineers. It was the last one to be in mono. The next title was Songs for Distinguished Lovers, which I've reviewed on the channel. I've also declared it to be probably my most played album ever. I love it. I love the whole, what I consider a trilogy of Billie Holiday albums. Body and Soul, Songs for Distinguished Lovers, and All or Nothing at All. The three of them are all of a kind, and they are very, very special to me. I love this period of Billie Holiday. I haven't explored the very earliest period. I know many people have their favorite eras for Billie Holiday. Even with my limited exposure to everything she's done, I absolutely love the Verve years. I love the expressive quality of her voice at this point. Yes, it is a bit broken, but there is a poignancy and fragility to the way she delivers the vocals and the experience, maybe world weariness a bit. Everything kind of comes through in these songs and elevates them to another level. All these songs are very familiar to most people who know the American Songbook. And I think Billie brings more to them than any other artist. I always like to hear her version of one of these very famous songs. And to me, they become the version. On this album, we have a nice collection of tracks. Body and Soul, They Can't Take That Away From Me, from George and Ira Gershwin. Darn That Dream, Let's Call the Whole Thing Off, another Gershwin tune. Comes Love, a beauty that I hadn't heard before. I heard her do it. Gee Baby, Ain't I Good to You, great bluesy song. Embraceable You, another Gershwin favorite. And my favorite on the album, Moonlight in Vermont. The artists on this album are incredible. What a cast of musicians. Billie Holiday on vocals, of course. Ben Webster on tenor sax. Barney Kessel on guitar. Harry Sweets Edison on trumpet. Jimmy Rolls on piano. Red Mitchell on bass. And Alvin Stoller or Larry Bunker on drums. You really can't get much better than that. The fact that they have Ben Webster and Barney Kessel really gives the album a lot of magic, but everyone contributes to the whole and makes this a very special album. Let's talk about the releases. So the first time I went through these, this was my initial version of this album. This is Mobile Fidelity's version on the Anadisc in print. These were 200-gram pressings from the middle period of Mobile Fidelity. They still have Stan Ricker on board, and he cut this record. They took some liberties with the jacket. It's a little faded out. They, of course, have their banner. The interior is all new. Nice. The back, I don't care for at all. I much prefer the original liner notes of the original release, but this is a beautiful sounding record. And the first time I went through these two, the George Marino 45 and this one, I kind of bypassed this one. I didn't give it enough attention. I really was won over with the Marino 45 on that system, and I don't think I really appreciated what Stan Ricker did here. Revisiting it this time, I found this to be the most laid back and relaxed. It rounds off some of the sharp edges of the recording. It presents it in a looser way, and I really like what he did with this. You know, it's funny, as you acquire new pressings, a lot of us like to have multiple pressings of things, and you think you found a new winner. It would be a big mistake to get rid of some others that were contenders, because even though I preferred the Marino the first time around, listening to this time, I'm so glad I have this, because it does present this music differently than the other two. I'll talk about the other two in a moment, but if you have this, you have one beautiful record. Really lovely sound. Stan Ricker did a beautiful job on it. The Marino 45, I talked about in its own video. These are the 2x45s that were housed in a single sleeve. I don't know if you've seen these, but thank God Chad updated these. Well, he's gone pretty much to Stoughton gatefolds because of the criticism he got for these. But this is a beautiful record. When I first played it, I think I made a statement in that video. If I never get to hear this music again, I'll have felt privileged to have heard it this way. And I still feel that way. It's different from the Mobile Fidelity for sure. This presents it in a more immersive way. You really feel like you're in the studio or in the club. Everything is detailed. It's uncanny that it's a mono recording and you get such a sense of space. I mean, it's layering, but sometimes it feels like a narrow stereo recording. George Marino pulled out everything from this tape. All the beauty of her vocal, every breath and little inflection in the voice, the detail on the guitar, the leading edge of the guitar pick. In Ben Webster's sax, there's more detail as well. It's a revelation, really, if you've never heard it. Her vocals on this tape apparently have a bit of a beamy quality. Sometimes they can be a little edgy, I guess. Not brittle, but just have that little bit of an edge. And I think on Stan Ricker's cut, he kind of took care of that and made it a little more listenable. On both the later cuts, Marino's and Ryan Smith, they leave that intact. So people that appreciate the detail and clarity and really seeing into the tape will love the 45. The 45 is still available, by the way. It's $60 and well worth it. However, Ryan Smith has kind of pulled off a miracle here. First of all, let's take a look at this. Body and Soul has never looked better. When I got this in my hands, I was like, I think this is such an iconic cover. And to see it done with this level of care, perfection really. I mean, the interior is new, of course, but the liner notes are intact. It looks fantastic. I really love this series because of the jackets and the mastering, of course. But one word about the jackets. They are retaining these high gloss jackets for this series. And I've noticed on some purchases from the Living Stereo series and also the Atlantic 75 series, they're dropping the gloss jackets, and that's a shame. Really, a lot of us collect these because of the presentation as well as the mastering. I was really into getting the Living Stereo titles until I got a few that were in matte jackets, and I was like, eh. I hope they retain this look for the entire series because it is a series. Unless there's a significant reason to go to a matte jacket, like in the Atlantic 75 series with the release of the David Crosby album, which originally appeared in like a watercolor paper texture. Something like that, or Deja Vu, where there's a leather texture. There's no reason to go to a matte jacket when you could produce this beautiful gloss unless it's just cost cutting. And that's a shame because a series should have the same look and quality across the board. And thank God the Acoustic Sound series has been doing this. So the mastering on this is so close to George Marino's 45. It's almost a toss-up. There were times when I was going back and forth and I was like, I forgot which one was on. George Marino's might have just a little bit of edge in the dimensional quality, certain aspects of the sound, but overall they sound very, very similar. And I think it's quite impressive that Ryan Smith was able to do this on a 33. The fact that it's a short album probably helps this out a bit because there's no end of side problems on the 33s. And maybe for that reason, he was able to pull this off. But for $38, you're getting a state-of-the-art mastering, pressing, and gorgeous presentation. For most people, this is a no-brainer. The mobile fidelity is pretty much out of reach. If you have it, you have a gorgeous record. I love it. I'm glad I have it. And I like its relaxed presentation. But to hear more into the music, you have these two. The Marino is still available from Acoustic Sounds. It is $60, so just a little bit more. But you do have to flip a very short record. I think this is going to meet everyone's expectations. It really offers just about everything you could want in body and soul and more. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Scott for The Pressing Matters. Have a great day.